The combined efforts of the Ontario Ministry of Health Ambulance Services Branch and Sentinel Vehicles Limited has resulted in the development of this dual stretcher ambulance, the forerunner in multi-patient care. Safety and security of the attendants, patients, and passengers has been maximized by strict attention to construction detail and rigorous quality assurance inspections. This operation and maintenance video has been produced to aid in the operation and continued performance of your vehicle. It is a guideline only and does not take precedence over the preventative maintenance program as specified by the Ambulance Services Branch. The vehicle manual supplied with each vehicle has been modeled in unison with this video. The manual contains in-depth information on the subjects discussed and is an invaluable reference center. Ensure that the manual is kept with the vehicle and that your service center is aware of its location. Should warranty regarding ambulance conversion be required, the Sentinel and associated manufacturers' warranties are detailed within the vehicle manual. Please contact Sales and Service at Sentinel for pre-authorization. At that time, an authorization number will be provided to ensure efficient processing of the claim. Chassis inquiries should be directed to the original equipment dealer. The dual stretcher vehicle has been built on various chassis. These chassis are different in layout, however each vehicle conversion functions the same. The vehicle shown is a Ford Type 3. The control console is designed to allow easy access and operation of all necessary functions. A walk-around should be done on a pre-trip inspection basis, as set out in the compulsory preventative maintenance program from the Ontario Ministry of Health Ambulance Services Branch. When operating equipment, use only what is necessary. This will reduce the demand on the charging and storage system. Let's look at the console features. The master switch activates the power supply for the ambulance's electrical conversion. Make sure all devices are in the off position on both the driver's compartment console and the patient's compartment attendance console before turning the master switch on. This will reduce the initial demand on the electrical charging and storage system. Turn each switch off before the master switch is deactivated. The emergency warning systems are designed to give full vehicle conspicuity when responding or transporting patients. Use only the lights necessary for the situation, as laid out by the Ambulance Services Branch. The light bar. The light bar will function as shown here. The lights used are high-efficiency halogen bulbs and produce a lot of light and heat. Allow sufficient time for these to cool before any repairs are attempted. You could be severely burned. To access light bar interior, remove the 4 screws securing the center chrome cover. Lift this cover off. If replacing the siren speaker, remove the connections on the left and right of the speaker and extract the 4 screws securing it. If replacing a bulb, lens, or filter, remove the 2 end screws of the lens on the appropriate side. Remove the color filter. Halogen bulbs are pressurized and breakage may result in flying glass. If a bulb is to be removed, safety eyewear should be worn. Pushing down and rotating counterclockwise will allow the bulb to be removed. A supply of spare bulbs should be kept on hand. Part numbers and a comprehensive maintenance schedule for the light bar is provided in the vehicle manual. To reassemble, reverse the process, first ensuring that the neoprene gasket is in good condition and in place. The emergency warning light system. The emergency light rocker switch has 3 positions. By moving this switch to its lowest position, secondary, alternating grille and rear warning lights will be seen. By moving the switch to its upmost position, primary, all emergency warning lights will be seen flashing. The light bar and wig-wag headlights are switched independently of this system. Wherever possible, reduce the amount of electrical equipment used. Try to conserve. The clear intersection lights remain lit and act as cornering lights when turn signal or hazard lights are activated. An attention-getting side marker has been included to enhance conspicuity during lane changes and turns. Should a side marker cease to flash and bulbs appear intact, check the fuse located to the right of the steering column. Should any of the warning lights need to be replaced, the vehicle manual contains exploded pictorials of the various assemblies. With turn signals and hazard lights turned off, should some emergency lights remain lit and others not at all, the emergency light flasher has become defective and must be replaced. Remove the negative cables from the vehicle batteries before attempting any repairs to the electrical system. The main electrical panel is located behind the attendant's seat. To remove the cover, move the attendant's seat as far forward as possible. Remove the screws securing the access panel to the cabinet work. Set this cover aside. Disconnect the wires attached to the flasher and take out the 4 screws securing the flasher to the panel. Remove the defective unit. To reassemble, reverse the process referring to the detailed electrical schematics of your vehicle manual. Should the clear fender-mounted intersection and cornering lamp cease to flash, an inline diode in the flasher circuit has become defective. Cut the defective diode out and splice in a new one. Note diode direction on the schematic. The alternating high beam warning lights. Labeled as wigwag, the high beam headlights will flash as shown. The low beams can be operated in unison with the wigwag. When constant high beams are required, the vehicle high beam control will override the wigwag flash. When the high beams are deactivated, the wigwag flash returns. The anti-theft system. The anti-theft system provides an ignition override, maintaining continued engine operation, yet allowing removal of the ignition keys, which locks the drivetrain and steering wheel. More importantly, this allows the alternator to meet the current demands of the two-way radio communications and other necessary devices. The operator can then feel confident about the security of the vehicle while leaving it unattended. The fuse for the anti-theft system is located in the main electrical panel. To access this area, refer to the emergency warning light section. Siren and siren horn switch function. This system is comprised of 4 main areas: the siren horn switch, the horn ring of the steering wheel, and siren speaker. The siren horn switch works in conjunction with the siren and vehicle horn ring. When the switch is in the horn position, the horn ring produces the original vehicle horn sound. In the siren position, the horn ring and siren will produce various sounds dependent on the siren select switch position. Should the siren not function when the gain control is rotated and the master switch is on, turn the siren off and check the fuse located at the rear of the unit. If defective, replace with the same style and size. The most frequent cause of blown fuses is a power surge. If the fuse is intact, the speaker should be looked at next. Removal of the speaker is covered in the light bar section. Should these prove ineffective, refer to the appropriate section of the vehicle manual for more comprehensive troubleshooting guidelines and part numbers. The battery boost system. The battery boost system is designed to help start the vehicle where the starting battery is not strong enough. This section applies only to gas engine vehicles. For diesel boosting, refer to the vehicle and operator's manuals. If this situation arises, the power of the conversion battery is used in starting. First, turn off all unnecessary items. Depress the battery boost switch and attempt to start the engine. The conversion battery will assist only while the switch is depressed. Release when engine has started. A voltage of no less than 12 and no more than 15 volts should read on the volt gauges. Should either of the conditions arise, have the charging and storage systems checked. Should a volt gauge not register at all, check the fuse inside the console. The backup warning system. When reverse is selected, the alarm at the rear of the vehicle will sound and the rear scene lights will activate. When the backup alarm is inappropriate, it can be deactivated by depressing the momentary switch. The rear scene light will stay on for as long as the drive selector is in reverse. When the selector is moved to another position, the backup alarm is automatically reset. The left and right scene lights. When moved to their up position, these switches will independently control the side-mounted scene lights. The scene lights are angled at 15 degrees towards the ground to effectively illuminate the scene. The rear scene light. This system operates in 3 separate ways. When activated at the console, when the vehicle is placed in reverse, or if the rear entry door is open. If the scene light has been activated by the rear door and the light is not required, the light can be turned off by pulling the switch plunger outwards. This will conserve power when the engine is not running. The door switch is returned to its normal position when the doors are closed. When either the side, rear, or backboard compartment doors are opened, the red flashing door open light will be engaged to alert the driver that a door is not properly closed. Ensure this lamp is off before the vehicle is put in motion. Should a bulb need to be replaced, refer to the vehicle manual for an exploded view of this assembly. The rear patient's compartment light. Labeled right cot high, this switch will allow the operator to illuminate the right bank cot lights in the patient's compartment. The auto throttle idle system. The auto throttle device operates automatically, requiring no operator intervention. The purpose of this device is to monitor voltage conditions and engage or disengage the throttle, raising or lowering the idle as necessary. The charging and storage system used on the GM vehicles is comprised of a 165 amp alternator, externally regulated, and an isolated dual battery system for gas engines, a triple battery system for diesels. The regulator for the GM vehicles is located in the power panel. The Ford vehicles employ a 165 amp internally regulated alternator and an isolated triple battery system. Should the throttle need to be adjusted, the vehicle manual contains all necessary instructions for this procedure. The auto throttle is designed with many safeguards. There is no chance of the vehicle being driven at unwanted engine speeds. The unit will disengage if the brake pedal is depressed or when any drive mode is selected. When placed in either park or neutral, the auto throttle will again monitor the charging and storage system. We recommend the use of the emergency brake for safety reasons. If the high lamp illuminates for 30 seconds or more, have the charging and storage system checked. Should the idle pulse with a turn signal, the isolation diode at the brake switch has become defective. Refer to the schematics of the vehicle manual for proper diode direction when the new one is being spliced into place. The patient's compartment control panel. This switch panel contains all the controls necessary to the attendant and functions only when the master switch is turned on. Patient's compartment illumination. The left and right cot lights are each controlled by a 3-positional switch. Should a problem arise, an exploded view of these light assemblies is contained in the vehicle manual. Cabinet lights are activated and illuminate as shown. On the action wall is mounted a gooseneck lamp, which supplies a focused beam. The intake and exhaust ventilation system. The ventilation system has been designed with various exchange rates to provide adequate ventilation. The high setting will provide a complete compartment air exchange within 4 minutes. The intake air is brought in through this exterior duct and expelled into the patient's compartment through the combination air conditioning and heating unit. This allows the intake air to be cooled or heated depending on the unit setting. The air is drawn out through this louvered vent and exterior duct. The environmental control system. The environmental system is comprised of the combination air conditioning and heating unit, thermostat, and the fan speed switch. This thermostat provides air conditioning or heating selection, temperature control, fan speed mode. All function independently of the driver's compartment. Fan speed is controlled here. During the summer months, close this valve to ensure efficient air conditioning. The two-way radio compartment and installation provisions. The two-way radio compartment is located below the action area. To access this area, remove the 4 screws securing the panel to the action wall. Care should be taken here. The panel must be tilted out of the way. The switch panel has a limited wire loop connecting it. The compartment is supplied with a terminal strip for power connections. These are live at all times, and the battery ground cables should be removed before any installation. Have your radio technician refer to the schematic and guidelines in your vehicle manual for proper connections. There are provisions allowing cables to be routed to the driver's compartment. The coaxial antenna cables are tagged front and rear and terminate at the access ports as shown. Removing the port cover will allow inside access for antenna mounting. Please make your radio installer aware of these provisions as detailed in the vehicle manual. The 2-station intercom. The intercom has a master unit in the driver's compartment and a slave unit in the patient's compartment, which is connected to an overhead speaker. With the master unit in standby, the driver will receive messages when the attendant depresses the switch. With the master unit in the monitor position, it will receive hands-free messages from the attendant. This model also allows the driver to send messages by depressing the talk switch. Refer to the vehicle manual for adjustment procedures should the unit's volume be too high or too low. The suction and aspiration system is comprised of a vacuum control panel, a DISS outlet, and a collection bottle. Rotating this control turns the vacuum on and adjusts the vacuum level, indicated on the gauge. The disposable collection bag is fitted to the collection jar as shown. Do not allow this bag to overfill. Fluid drawn into the pump will cause damage. This system is inspected with the present Ontario Ministry of Health procedures. When connecting the collection jar to the DISS outlet, finger tighten the adapter only enough to prevent leakage. Over-tightening may damage the outlet. Refer to the vehicle manual for a comprehensive troubleshooting guide should problems arise. The incubator and accessory receptacles. The vehicle is equipped with 2 incubator receptacles and 1 receptacle for portable suction. These receptacles are live at all times, and their polarity is in accordance with the ambulance services branch. Ensure that the mating connectors comply with this. For the incubator, the lower terminal 11 is negative and lower right terminal 12 is positive. The portable suction center terminal is positive and the outer case is negative. The oxygen system is comprised of 3 areas: the oxygen cylinder cabinet at the front right corner of the patient compartment, a DISS outlet mounted on the action wall, and a DISS outlet mounted on the right wall. The right wall outlet is fitted with a cushion held in place with Velcro. Replace this cushion when the outlet is not in use. This protects the attendant from any obstructions that may cause harm. This system is inspected every 6 months by the Ontario Ministry of Health Ambulance Services Branch. The oxygen cradle has been designed and tested to facilitate a Type M pencil steel, Type M aluminum, and a Type MM stubby aluminum only. Do not store any other type of cylinder in this cradle. The regulator supplied is preset at 50 pounds per square inch and is equipped with a cylinder contents gauge. The contents of the cylinder can be viewed through the plexiglass door on the front of the cabinet. In accordance with ministry procedures, the cylinder must be replaced when contents have decreased to 500 psi. Do not modify this cradle or use cylinders that exceed the dimension listed within the vehicle manual. To remove the cylinder, have 2 people available. Release the 2 catches at the inside top of the O2 cabinet. Place your right hand in the slot and lift the cabinet upwards until it has cleared the floor stop. Tilt this cabinet from the bottom and bring it back towards the rear of the vehicle until it clears all obstacles. It can now be passed to your attendant through the side entry door. Turn the cylinder off. Bleed the oxygen from the system at the flow meter. Loosen the large nut securing the regulator with an appropriately sized wrench. Slide the regulator from the cylinder. Loosen the wing nut and swing the neck restraining strap out of the way. Release the 3 restraining straps by pushing down the lever and pulling the strap out, and then lift the oxygen cylinder out of the vehicle. When installing a full cylinder, first remove the protective cap and crack the valve. Lift the full cylinder into the cradle and refit the straps. Slide the regulator onto the cylinder valve and tighten with a wrench until very snug. Turn the cylinder on slowly, at least 3 full turns. If a leak is detected at the cylinder regulator connection, tighten the nut further. The contents gauge of the regulator should register in the full range. Refit the oxygen cabinet. To adjust oxygen cradle to fit a different size cylinder, the neck must be repositioned. Adjust the neck restraint by removing the 6 bolts. Move the neck assembly to the appropriate position and securely replace the bolts. Attach the flow meter and humidifier to the oxygen outlet located on the action wall as shown. Hand or wrench tighten only enough to prevent leakage. Excessive tightening can damage the outlet. The flow meter will control the amount of oxygen received by the patient. The flow is measured in liters per minute and is indicated by the position of the ball float in the graduated cylinder. Read flow rate from the center of the ball float. The flow is easily adjusted using the control knob. Do not use excessive pressure when turning the flow off. Forcing the valve will decrease seal life. Fill the humidifier to the top water line using sterile distilled water only. It is important that water is maintained between the water lines and changed daily. Cot mounting. The ambulance has been designed to facilitate 2 number 30 cots which can be removed through the side entry door in case of an emergency. These cots are securely positioned using number 1 cot bars and adjustable floor brackets. Complete adjustment procedures are contained in the vehicle manual. When the emergency egress is necessary, the left cot must be removed first. To do this, release and remove the floor hook of the right cot, disengage the rear clamp, and push the cot to the rear doors. The left cot can now be released and removed from the vehicle, followed by the right cot. Each patient position is supplied with an intravenous hook. The patient's compartment facilitates ample storage for all necessary components, equipment, and supplies. The bulkhead facilitates a cabinet used to house the main electrical panel. 2 attendant seat locations at the head of each cot, one to the left that is adjustable forward, backward, swivel, and recline, the other on the right above the air conditioning heating unit. The attendant seats are equipped with standard lap belts for attendant safety. There is a walk-through between the driver's and patient's compartment. It has a sliding door that can be securely latched in an open or closed position. This walk-through contains a fire extinguisher. Note that on Type 1 vehicles, this walk-through has been changed to a pass-through window, and the fire extinguisher is mounted in the driver's compartment. Just inside the side entry door is an area allocated for the conversion battery and provisions for the extrication device or splints. This area is fitted with 2 securing straps. The crew bench is mounted to the right wall. This bench uses a gas-filled hold-open device. Excessive force is not needed when lowering the crew bench. Simply control its motion. To the rear of the crew bench is a fire extinguisher, and on the right rear wall is the location of the D and E-sized oxygen cylinders. It is imperative that neck restraints and wing nut be securely fastened. Above these cylinders are adjustable shelves fitted with Velcro straps to keep supplies intact. The rear doors have carrying capabilities for the first response kit on the inside right and a CPR board on the left. Each door is equipped with a rubber bungee cord to securely hold the doors in an open position. The left wall includes many storage areas. The rear cabinet is for a stair chair and is equipped with 2 straps to hold this securely. The main storage area includes a cabinet light, adjustable shelves, and an access panel that allows tools to be brought in from the outside backboard compartment without having to leave the vehicle. Located above the action area is a cabinet where you'll find the suction fittings, oxygen regulator, flow meters, and humidifier bottles. At the rear left exterior is a compartment for backboards and tools. When the door is open, the compartment is illuminated. This light can be turned off if the door is needed open for extended periods by pulling the switch plunger outward. It is reset when the door is closed. The spare tire is located at the left rear underside of the vehicle. The spare tire pressure can be read and adjusted at the valve mounted in the fuel filler pod. The spare tire is lowered by opening the cover and inserting the flat end of the tire wrench into the receptacle of the tire winch. Rotating the wrench clockwise will lower the tire to the ground. When changing tires, follow the chassis manufacturer's details within the operator's manual. The tire wrench is stored behind the driver's seat. Attendant's features. Cushions and grab handles are conveniently located throughout the vehicle to protect and assist the attendant. Other features include safety flooring, protected corners, soft grab handles, slip-resistant step wells, high-density foam cushions, flip-up rear step, hooks for safety lines when climbing embankments. The driver's compartment houses the fusee case, which contains the safety flares, a zip pack holder where this video and your operator's manual will be found, beverage holders, and the tachograph in the seat base. The electrical system utilizes relay-controlled electrical circuits, function-coded wire, the wire function is printed directly on the wire's insulation, and an accessible main harness, should a need to access it ever arise. This state-of-the-art ambulance is a direct reflection of the commitment you, the operator, the Ontario Ministry of Health Ambulance Services Branch, and the team at Sentinel Vehicles Limited have to provide the ultimate in emergency service. Your continued dedication and valued input will help us plan today for the needs of tomorrow.